What nonsense. Yeah. Shenanigans. Hey everybody, what's up? So, sorry, we're a little bit late starting the stream. I had a few little hiccups that I had to go and get squared away, but I think I got that all figured out, so I think we're ready to begin. I'm gonna go ahead and, so I already got a SPRX running right now, but I'm gonna delete that and show you guys how to start from the bare bones. And when I say bare bones, I mean all the way down specifically for this game. Now, this particular game runs off of .self file, so you're going to need that to be debugged. And you can, all you really got to do is figure out what game you're running, find the region code for it. There's 1,001 different ways that you can do that. But this particular game, let me get everything loaded up just a second. Alright. One way that we can do it is we can actually use Webman. So if you go up into your games and scroll down to the game that we're going to be using, I'm going to be using the HD collection. Down in the lower corner there, you can see the game region is... There we are. Might be a little bit easier to hear me now. The game region for this is BLUS 30847. That's what we're going to be looking for in our FTP server, or client, excuse me. You're also going to need True Ancestor Self-Resigner, which I have that right here, and you'll need a SPRX ELF builder, and we got one from Rival Gamer. Now we want to make sure that we are using the game update, so you go to lowercase game right there, and you need to look for your game. So for us is 30847. Go into the US directory, and I've already done a lot of heavy edits to this, but what we're looking for right here is the MGS2 self. We're going to be dragging that into here. This is the self folder inside of True Ancestor Self-Resigner. Then you need the actual eboot into the main folder, because that's what the resigner uses to decrypt it. Once this is opened up, we click 4. We need to refresh that, hang on. Click 4, click on 2 for mgs2.self. Just a moment, looks like it's having a bit of a conniption. There we are. That's why. Make sure that it's named correctly. And there it is, number 1. Found the K license and did all that stuff and decrypted successfully. That's all we need to look for here. We're going to go into the self folder right here, and we can see mgs2.elf. Drag that into this main folder here. We're going to open up our ELF builder. Or virus protection doesn't decide to destroy it. It looks like it's going to do. Okay, plan B. Do have another one we're going to use. It's in here. That folder. Now we just name the plugin. For us, it's going to be Metal Gear. Our project's going to be called Metal Gear Rect 2. Click Build, and that's going to create sprx underscore mgs2.elf. We are done with this program here. We can take this and bring it down here. We're actually done with that particular eboot, so we're going to take this guy and rename it to eboot.elf. Once you have the resigner open back up, we're going to click option number 8, which is resign disk backup eboot as DEX firmware. So click 8 and hit enter. Resign finish, and that's it. Now we go back into here and we drop our eboot there. We can load up the game just to test it. It's not going to launch any eboot. Well, it looks like we came into an error. Uh-oh. Apparently it did not like that. Why are you sad? Looks like I goofed somewhere. It seemed to be upset with me for what I just did. And of course, this is like true to life. Of course, I did all this stuff off screen hour and a half ago, and it worked all just fine and peachy. And now, when it actually matters, and I'm trying to show everybody how to do it, decides that it doesn't like me anymore. But of course it does. That's just how it rolls. Let's see if it likes me now. Yep, it seems to be working now. Now, we can tell that it is a debug eboot because it comes up in our kernel explorer here. And we'll just do a quick little check over. You can see these are all the PPU threads running, and once we get our SPRX up and running, you'll be able to actually see yours in here, whatever you name it. Of course, in our instance, it's going to be Metal Gear Rect 2. Now, with this, you are going to need, I believe I'm using 4.75 SDK, but pretty much with the 4.75 SDK, you need Visual Studio 2013 for this to work. Now, once you get it opened up, and let's just move this to the desktop here. We're gonna name it Metal Gear Rec 2. It needs to be a PPU project, so double click that, click on next. Now here you don't want to just jump through these settings. You want to click on PPU PRX project, uncheck use precompiled header, finish. It's going to make things a lot easier for everybody in the long run. Once that's loaded up, go to the prx.cpp, and we're going to build this real quick just to make sure that everything is working correctly. And we got a success. So from here, and we'll do a lot of referencing and stuff like that. We don't really need this stuff. Oh, where'd you go? Come here. This is the project that I had before that we're going to be using. So what we need, the easiest way to do this, in my opinion, let's set up our structure. We're going to have a new folder. This one's going to be called Internals. Here we're going to we are going to add types, types.h. This is going to be more apparent once we get it. Now this right here, it wasn't made by him. This right here is basically just defining all of our different variable types, so we can, this makes things a lot easier. We have a vector for struct, which is just three float array for x, y, and z coordinates. We have an invoker. This is linked to DevOps, so huge shout out to him. This will come into play once you start looking for actual native functions of the game that we're messing with. And yeah, pretty much we can come and add anything here that we want. All we need to do is include it here. Which that we honestly don't even need to do, and I'll get into that momentarily. The next one that I want to build is a main.h. And we'll just put that in the main header file here. And again, I do have this copy pasted. This contains pretty much everything that I need to reference for damn near any type of project that I'm running. That is what we will actually reference here, and that'll make all this stuff go away. These are always red. I don't know why. It just always is. So we have our types. Next thing we need to do is make an actual internals.h file. This is going to contain a few of the basic structure functions that we're going to be using. The sleep function, which is going to get used a lot actually, as well as the hook function, which that will come into play later on when we start messing with the actual game functions. And the write process memory, well, that's needed for the hook function here. Looks like we got a slight issue. That's why. So this error right here comes because this isn't referencing our main folder here. So what we can do is just include it in the PRX here. When we go back to internals, we can see it's no longer red and it's happy. Some basic things that we're going to get set up. In the main block here, the PRX entry block, we need to build a actual thread. So make a void thread. And make a thread module. We use create thread. Excuse me. It points to the thread module, and it calls the thread void, and then the forget what this initial one is, but the priority we can set to 3000. Total size, I don't see us needing more than a couple megabytes, and just set for a 0 flag, and then we put the name. Metal Gear Wreck. Now this right here is going to drop our SPRX into the PPU threads right here. It's going to allocate the memory, give us a thread ID, etc, etc, etc. And then it's going to call everything that's in here, and we don't want it to completely crash. So, while the thread is true, we're going to make it sleep. Nothing crazy. Just like 5 milliseconds ought to do. Now there's a few different things to note with this game. If you watched any of my previous videos about how to find pointer functions, you'll know that Metal Gear Solid 2 has completely dynamic range offsets. What that means is that you have to find the structures and stuff like that if you're going to be editing the game memory instead of just calling the functions. So you have to find that pointer that'll point you to where the main player stuff is. And I go super into depth on how to actually build the function, convert it to ASM using Code Wizard, and then write it to memory. And also there's a couple different things that you can do to get that set up and squared away. I will show you both ways that we can do that. So this function right here, my initialize function, this is the same thing that we set up originally. So this creates the pointer and then pushes it to the offset, which was the 10007080. So it's legitimately the same thing. And I'll show you what this does real quick by just converting it to NetCheat. So this is the same thing. You can see that's the same here, etc, etc, etc. Real quick, just to show you all what I'm talking about. I'll write that. And this is the address, 7080. And this is our pointer. Like I said, I'm not going to get too far in depth with this just because I already went through it pretty heavily with the last tutorial that I made. I'm just clearing out all of the weapon offsets. But that's basically what this does. Creates a pointer that I can reference to. Now, here's the tricky part. We're gonna build a class, and we're gonna call this class offsets. We want the variables to be public, so now we're gonna make an unsigned integer player struct, as well as weapon table and item table. along with this, we also want to have it automatically call, automatically reference this data. And we can do that by doing this. And this is where we will force the data to actually mean something. Now this right here means it's a pointer. I'm reading the data that is stored at this address. So think of this as, if you're familiar with C# and using the PS3 lib, think of this as PS3 extension.read uint32. That's essentially what this is doing. I'm reading the data that's at this address. This means it's a pointer, so this is pointing at the data that. I hope that makes sense. Weapon table equals, and I've already done the math to this, but basically player struct plus 0x2ae. And like I said, this information was gathered on one of my previous videos where I go over how to find all that information. The item table is stored at 33e here. And that's about all that we need to do with that. In our main thread here, oh, and by the way, the sleep timer right here, this is sleeping for 15 seconds. So it's giving the game about 15 seconds to load up before it starts changing the memory. That is pretty much just a safeguard to make sure that we don't start rewriting memory and then crashing the game. And to do that, like I said, the thread right here is the first thing that gets called. We're going to call our initialize function here, which writes all this data. And then it's going to give us a nice little prompt in Target Manager as soon as that's been initialized. Now let's do something fairly basic. We do need to add an additional header file. We're going to go back to internals. And we're going to do some button monitoring. This function, this header unit here, is actually pulling the data directly from the system itself. So that makes it really nice and convenient. And all we gotta do, include it. And now we can reference it. First and foremost, let's reference our class. That's all we really need to do. And we'll make a simple hook, which I guess isn't technically a hook, but so we'll just say, yeah, we'll leave it at hook. That's fine. What I want to do, first and foremost, let's go back to our internals. And you can see we have an integer right here called button tick. That's going to be helpful because we are going to ask if the key value of any key is greater than 0. We're going to execute this command. We want to make sure that button tick gets added each time because that's what gets referenced next. So if button tick equals 1, then we want to see if the key press combination is equal to R1 plus left. We are going to get all guns unlocked. We can do that by creating an unsigned integer called weapon or wep, and that will be equal to the weapon table. And then we'll do a for loop. Oh dear. For loop where the integer I is equal to 0, and while I is less than, I believe it's 20 guns in the game, while I is less than 20, it's going to add itself by 1. And we want to, so this right here is another pointer. This is just the address. This address right here is actually this right here. So keep that in mind. So we need to do another pointer. This needs to be a short, which is a fancy way of saying it's just a 2-byte array. So weapon needs to equal, we'll do 0x0214, and then we want weapon to equal weapon plus 2, because every weapon array is 2 bytes in length, and we want it to constantly jump and write our data all the way down 20 times until we have all of our weapons unlocked. Oh, you want that, okay. And that's a very simple thing to do. That's a very simple way to get that set up and squared away. So that about covers it, but we need to reference this. After we initialize everything, we need it to be ran in a for loop, and having the 2 semicolons here means that it's just gonna run for infinity. And we're gonna run our function here. I can give you guys an example later, but whenever it's running in a thread, it executes like a bajillion times at once. It's kind of nuts. So we're just going to slow that down just a hair. Oh, and I forgot something. So if this key right here, else button tick needs to equal 0, that way everything resets. We're also going to make it sleep for 10 milliseconds, just so it doesn't bog down really, really terribly. That about covers it. This gets us a pretty good little setup right here. We're going to go up here, rebuild the solution. Looks like we have an error. Undefined reference to print F. That was my mistake. So that's this guy right here. We need to copy over printf.cpp. Which again is this guy. And for whatever reason, every single time you copy it over, this guy right here likes to cause some issues. It's always just that one line. I don't know why. It's weird. Anyway, save that. Go back to our PRX. That's referenced appropriately. And rebuild. And you can see we had no problems. It succeeded. Let's copy our folder. Open up the FTP client. We need to navigate to our temp folder. Which will be in HDD0 TMP. And up here, we can just paste that in. We can see Metal Gear Rec 2.sprx, which is the same as when we built that for the, what you would think, the actual SPRX builder. Okay, so now that that's all done, we will reset the game. open up Target Manager, and go to your console output. Relaunch the game. You can see process ID. In about 15 seconds, we're going to see something pop up right about there. And there it is, initialized. We can double check that. If we go to that point in memory, well, after we reattach. Now remember, this function right here that just said initialized on our screen is doing the exact same thing as this. So we go into Prodigy, go to that point in memory, take that address, and we'll drag it over to the disassembly. And we can see, just like it was when we built this in CodeWizard, it is jumping to our cave, where it's storing R24 into R13, and R13 is this address here. Now, of course, we don't see anything yet because the game's not loaded, and let's actually start a new game. We'll go to the plant, because you don't actually start with anything at the plant.
Snake, do you remember the sink? You have 2 mission objectives. 1, infiltrate the offshore decontamination facility Big Shell.
And keep your eye on this screen over here, because it's about to pop as soon as it loads all the
texture
assets.
isn't far removed from rubber, but the material. The hatch with a.
It's actually not even loaded into the mission right now. The codec here is a super clever way to allow the game to load all of its structures and such. And right there, that red that just popped up, that's our pointer. If you're looking in the game, you can see we have nothing. No guns at all. And if you watch in memory, down here, where we got all these F's and such, if we do our button combination, which is R1 and left, looks like it broke. Something that we did. Let's see why it broke. And we can see that this right here is trying to write what we wanted it to. Looks like it's not grabbing the correct address. Why is it not grabbing the correct address? Possibly, we need to do this. Because we can see in R4 here, basically what this function right here says is it's store half word. It's trying to take is trying to store the data in R3, which is 214, and place it into R4, but R4 is empty. So it's not writing the data where it's supposed to. That's rather easily fixed. Probably because when we built the class and we only referenced the weapon table, it didn't reference the player struct. So if it didn't reference the player struct, then the weapon table is blank. So once we move that in here, let's rebuild that and try again. So once again, we'll go load our game. This is one thing to consider, guys. It's going to take a lot of time. You're not just going to get it first shot. I mean, all the problems that I've had with this particular game, I mean, you could end up doing a game that's 7 times harder. You could end up doing this with a game that's 7 times easier. You could have a game that has nothing but static offsets, which those are probably the easiest to learn on, but I didn't really have any in mind when I first started this. Right there, initialized. But I digress. This is where we're at. Let's start a new game, actually. One thing I have noticed with this particular game, which I've never had a problem with any other game, because we are linked... Oh dear, come on. Back. Apparently, this game relies very heavily on... Oh goodness. On using the button monitor protocol, the system button monitoring protocol. So we might have to go through and find a creative way to view all that stuff in memory, which I was working on, which actually that's why I was held up so much. Which I believe I have a way to fix that now.
Snake, do you remember the sinking of that tanker 2 years ago?
Of course.
Terrorists blow a hole in an oil tanker full of crude
And
buried
I'll go
20
into what
miles
I'm
off
doing
the
with
shore
that.
of Manhattan. Your classic nightmare.
Provided this works.
This is Snake.
The texture isn't far removed from rubber, but the material...
Okay, now we're in game. Hold R2 to check, see we have nothing. Let's go into the memory so y'all can see it. connect and attach. We'll refresh Prodigy. We can go to here, we can see our pointer address. And by the way, all I'm doing, you go to this address right here, you double click on it, and then you long press on your left stick, and you can grab that data. And if you put it anywhere, if you put it over here, it'll bring that up over there. Or you can put it up here, and that takes you to the memory view. Or you can even drag that down here. It's super nice, super convenient. Anyway, this is our weapon pointer address. Let's go to auto refresh. And let's try this again. Hit R1 and left. And right there, you see, it just wrote 0214 to everything. We'll check in-game. We can see we have all weapons now. Which is pretty flippin' neat, I think. Now, let's fix this whole problem with our buttons. So if I hold down R1, I've released R1. I have, for whatever reason, and right there, like, for whatever reason, when I'm calling the system buttons, it sticks. And I don't know why. So let's fix that. I did a lot of digging, actually, earlier, before I began the stream. And I created another pointer, which, this right here points, or grabs the data for button monitor. Because the button monitor is also dynamic, so I had to find that function, and I did the exact same thing. It's actually right here. I found the function, I'm taking R31, pushing it to R13, it's at 24 bytes passed, and jumping back, etc, etc, etc. Yeah. Anyway. Now this is curious. So what we're doing here, I'm gonna dereference buttons. And we're gonna create, this is where the types come in. As you can see, I already have an unsigned integer type defined as a button. So if we go back here, we can do button, and we can start defining stuff like our L1 key, etc, etc. But I already did that before. I'm just gonna copy paste it. Put that over in internals, just so it's nice and clean. We need to build a function that's going to read that data and return something. So it's defined as a button, so it has to have a return value. What I'm going to do is get an unsigned integer spelled. That would be great. I'm going to name it pointer, and it's going to be equal to grabbing the pointer data, your pointer data at this address. This is 4 past where our player struct data is at, which is R13 plus 24, if you've been paying attention. And the button data is actually pointed at 5C past that. I want to make sure that everything, that it's not going to be returning a null value. So we're going to check that. Pointer does not equal 0x5c, because, so basically, if the value here is 0, all it's doing is making this equal to 5C. That makes sense. And I want to make sure if it's a null value, it won't just be 0, because this is 0 if this is 0. But since we're adding 5C, this would be equal to 5C. Make sense? I hope so. If it's not equal to just 5C, we are going to return the data that points at that. Or just simply return 0. That's all well and good. Now, we'll do a Boolean where we can have a user input. We will check where first we'll declare button object as a key, which is equal to the actual key. So that's returning this data right here. So if anything is pressed, it's going to return that here. All we need to do is return whether or not the true or false value. If key is equal to it's pressed. That's all we gotta do with that. And all we gotta do, change a few things around. I kept the naming nomenclature of everything roughly the same, or exactly the same. So there's just a nice smooth transition. I don't gotta change a whole bunch of stuff. If we go into our buttons class, we can actually see it's structured exactly the same. The only difference is how the data is being collected. Save that and we'll build it. And we'll go back. We'll inject it. As soon as that's completed, we'll restart. Quite literally, wash, rinse, and repeat. Welcome to SPRX building, everybody. It's not a glamorous life, but it's so rewarding once you get something that works. Hello, friend. Oh, looks like my friend needs help. Let's see. Okay, so do Visual C++ on that one. If you're still watching, if you heard that. Also, very sorry for putting your name on blast up there. It wasn't personal. Uh-oh. Looks like we're into a problem. Looks like it didn't like something. That out real quick. Ah, I know why. It panicked a little bit because it was trying to grab the key data. It wasn't equal to anything, so the kernel had a little bit of a panic. So we just need to build a quick little function to make sure that we check to ensure that the game is actually loaded. That's super simple. What we can do is we can make another bool. We'll just say in game, and very simply we'll do an unsigned integer call it pointer, and it's going to be the exact same thing here. Goodness. Hi. What is it, Nala? My cat's losing her mind. Probably because I'm streaming and not petting her. Alright, so now let's do if the pointer is greater than 0x5c, we'll return true. If it's not, then we'll just return false. Then we can just do if in game boom shakalaka. That's all she wrote. Build, drop. And run. Let's check our console output, see if it liked that a little bit better. It initialized, didn't panic. My cat is being an absolute ass right now. My wife is coming to the rescue. Let's make a new game yet again. As we can see, we're already having a lot better luck with our menu navigating, which is great, because that sucked. This story is fictional. Any and all similarities to characters, yada 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 yada. Yeah, we know what you meant.
Snake, do you remember the...
I've seen this intro so many times now. It's the same with Red Dead Redemption. I've seen the intro to that so many times now. It's absolutely unreal.
Strut A of Shell 1.
How are things?
We're in luck.
The
I
texture
increased
isn't
the
far
volume of
removed
my
from
mic.
rubber,
I
but
hope
the
it's not too
material
loud.
protects against a...
Can you all hear me
The hatch with a
okay?
circular handle will open into the
Anybody
elevator.
there? Okay, we are loaded back to the game. Much better response time for the controls. Let's go check out Prodigy. I'll do it again just for the sake of doing so. Actually, right here we can see we have another little number right there. If we take this, we use our fancy calculator, and we add 5C to that, we get this address, 81C. Let's copy you, and let's go here. Let's constantly auto watch, like auto refresh, and you can see I'll press a button, and this changes. So our button monitor works. Yay for that. Back to our pointer area. Let's go see our player structure. Here we see I have no weapons. That's poopy. I don't like poopy. Let's get some weapons. Now we have weapons. There was a small bit of lag time that it took the game to register my button press. And we can do that by very simply adjusting our sleep here. We'll just change that to something like 5. And also, if you look in memory right here, you can see that it didn't write these 4 bytes there. So that means I was incorrect with the number of guns. So change that to 21, and that should fix it right away. As you can see, we now have all of our weapons. And we can actually do something very similar to getting all of our items. Because our item pointer is, well, it's a lot harder to see because our item pointer actually starts right here. I know that just because, well, hey, I've been messing with this game for a while. So if we see our current items right now, we have the scope, AP sensor, and that's it. So if I go here and I add 214, we now have 532 rations. So, yay for that. I've already done the math, and we've already found our pointer address for that because that's referenced in our item table here. Now what we can do if key pressed, and let's do R1 plus right. Now let me think. I don't remember exactly how many items there were. Let me load up an older project. I think it's that one. Yep, this was a unreleased video. This is all done in C#, but let's see. Start of the items here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, 17, 18, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41 items. We have 41 total items. That's going to be very key when we make our int loop. Int I is equal to 0 if I is less than 40. I say 40 because 0 counts as 1. You'll just think of these all. Yeah, anyway. And let's try something a little bit different. We will do I equals I. Oops. Equals I plus 2. I have no idea if that will work or not. Let's find out together on this wonderful adventure. Short pointer at the item table. Only I could type. Item table plus I, just to be safe, equal to 0x214. This will be a fun little test. I don't know if this will work. So let's build. Let's drop. And rinse and repeat. Close out a Prodigy before it has a conniption. And relaunch the game. Initialized, so it's written all of our code. Now that it's in the game, we can connect and attach. And we'll open up Prodigy. I'll explain to you guys why it was crashing before. So here we have our pointer, and this is auto-refreshing. And our data is getting pushed to these two addresses here. And so these were returning a null value, right? So when it was calling for key, it was looking for this second address here, and that was returning a null value. And pretty much it tried to execute that. It failed and had a conniption, and basically we had to create this little check here to make sure that everything was good. Oops, I think it went to load game. It did. You know, it might be easier if I actually went into this and just made a fresh flippin' save right at that location. But I'm not smart enough to do that. No.
The texture is...
The texture isn't far removed from rubber. Do you mean neoprene? Neoprene's a fun fabric, but it's not very watertight. Okay, in game. Nothing over there. A little bit over there. We'll do our weapons first. There they are. Then we'll do our items. Oops. Uh-oh. Did we do something wrong? Let's find out. There they are. There's all of our items. Now let's do something interesting. I'll show you guys how to find some other data. So, the Metal Gear series likes to
I've sighted an enemy sentry.
monitor stats, like such as kills, alerts, etc., etc., etc. Let's go ahead and find those stats. Possibly the easiest one to find first and foremost. If you, I'm kind of following the pointer here. Like this is my reference point for that
That's
pointer,
not a possibility.
because I know just from working on this game that's what I need to look for. This is actually the current level, or no, I'm sorry. One of these two is the current level, but that's the pointer that we're referencing off of. Let's see. I think it'll be F4 or in that neighborhood. Have it. Yeah, FC. So that was close. And it does reference up there at the V11A-02. That's just the level nomenclature. Jeez, I can't speak. Okay, so just from fiddling with this game enough, I know that the data that we're going to be looking for is going to be in this little area here. And you can watch in game as I go up and bust a cap on one of these fools. Pop. And oh dear. Looks like I was wrong. Let me see here. So whenever you can't find something, I like to turn off auto update. Well, these are always going to be constantly writing. Shoot him. Make sure he's dead. Now let's go up here and update. Ah, there it is. So right here is our kills. And I believe the stats are all going to be 2-byte arrays. So it starts there at 4E. Let me see, hang on. 4040 is the current area of it. Okay, 19E4040. And now what we can do, so this is the pointer that we grabbed. Take the data there. Okay. Let me bring this up for you guys. So that's our pointer. And then that's our kills. Again, I can't. Leave me alone. What we need to do, kills pointer is going to be equal to kills minus pointer, which is, because I'm not going to try to do that math, take that, subtract from that, yep, 144. That's our kills pointer. And we can throw that into our offsets here. Zero X144 right there. And now we have access to our kills. Isn't that fun? I believe this guy right here, this might be the game time. I'm not sure what this area is. This, I believe, is our gun. Number of bullets fired, yep. And I know that there's also another one that counts the number of special items used. I've already used one, the stealth camouflage. Let's see if I can find the other one by equipping... Oh dear, looks like we didn't get all the items. Okay. Okay. Grab some more items. There's a card. Well, anyway, we'll find that one later. I love this. I've done this a time or two.
Good work, Raiden.
The radar should be functioning now.
Let me explain about your Soliton radar system.
Uh-oh. Soliton radar.
The bright dot in the middle is you, Raiden. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision.
This is like straight out
Your
of the
radar
first
isn't
game.
affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it. It gets jammed easily, I'm afraid. It's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful. The
just
Big
want to put
Shell's
up
layout map should now be available after touching the Start
Metal Gear
button.
1, Metal Gear
How do I
Solid
save
on
the mission
PS1.
data?
I've
They
set
show that.
aside proprietary...
Alright, that's enough. Weep. Cool. Okay, here we go. It's gonna tell me momentarily that these guys are waking up. Oh no.
Raiden, the enemy sentry is regaining consciousness.
Be careful, Jack.
Sure, yeah.
Find somewhere to hide until the
Consciousness.
elevator
I'm
arrives.
dead.
You must
That's
stay
impressive.
out of sight.
I'm not even mad. Hey, you okay? Come on, bro. Uh-oh. But it looks like I still gotta hold it down a little bit for some of these things to actually right. So let me see. Yeah, it takes a little bit. We can fiddle with the timing on that later. No pasty skin.
Colonel, I'm on.
The Big Shell is comprised of shells...
One of these days I'll probably do a stream of just me actually playing a game and not trying to mod it. What do y'all think of that? Jesus. Hi, Nala. Obligatory. Gotta come. I wonder if birds have an entity identifier. That'd be cool. Fuck off, birds. Okay. Oh, is she gonna get mad at me? Oh. Yes? Mush mush? There we go. Okay, shut up. There it is.
Raiden, SEAL Team...
Oh, no. Shut up. Okay. If you haven't noticed, on Prodigy down there, Prodigy, excuse me, it's constantly jumping. Constantly jumping. That's because of the dynamic memory. Let's throw this game through a loop. Do I have my box? I do. I do have one of the boxes. Yep. Okay. Oops. Oh, this isn't that right. Hang on. Funky little sweeping camera action. Oh, I'm in the wrong room altogether, aren't I? I am. See, it's been too long since I played this game. I need to go back through and play it. spent so much more time on Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, and 1. Good stuff. Great stuff. That was weird. Hang on a moment.
Raiden, watch your back. That's a cipher, a type of UAV. If it spots you, it will alert enemy personnel. Exercise extreme caution. But you can use chaff to set up an interference field. That'll knock its sensors offline for a while. Try to locate some chaff. You can also destroy the engine or the camera. Some of the UAVs may be armed. Be careful.
Copy that.
Wait a second. I just intercepted new intelligence on the operation being executed by SEAL Team 10.
Intercepted?
As I said before, they need to be kept in the dark about our presence.
So we just listen in.
I'm patching it through.
This is Alpha Zero. We have the president.
Is he safe?
He is safe.
What about the package?
Tell the guys upstairs that we've secured the package. Easy money.
Good work. Your retrieval is on the way. Come on home.
Roger that. Holy!
Alpha Zero, report.
Damn it! Cover the president!
Come in, Alpha Zero.
This is Alpha Zero. We're under attack. This is crazy. Is that...
Alpha Zero, respond. All Alpha, respond.
Raiden, the President's life is in danger. Head to Strut B now.
Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so far what we found out, obviously, I was a little confused on the amount of items. So we're just gonna do this. Oh. And we can just keep double checking until we got our items. Pretty sure that there's just, because there's a whole bunch of wigs and other such things like that. Curious to know why it stopped so soon. Well, let's just keep going. Oops. More boxes. Oh yeah. There's one of the wigs. There's a bandana, which will break the game if we try to use it. The wigs. The wigs are so weird. As you can see, this wig gives you infinite ammo. Still, the wigs are weird. Okay, anyway. Tell you what, let's go ahead and make, until we know any better, let's make 1C our stat pointer. One 9E 3F 1C. Let's figure out what that is. I'm sure many of you that are better at math than I could just figure this out without a calculator, so to you I say fuck off. 20! Spell tape. There. I likes it. Cool. Now let's do something interesting. Find health. Where's my pointer reference? Right there. That's our level. Actually, let's try something fun. Let's see if this game operates the same way all of the others do. It's gonna be 1. And let's say A02. Constant, right? See if that changes our location. If we did that, then it should change us to go pretty far back. Which actually should be that room, so let's go over here. Forward, forward, forward. Let's see what happens. We're constantly writing it, and it didn't like that. Okay, so you just really don't like that. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. What happens if I break you? Be afraid of breaking the game. Break the game, and you don't learn. Oop, strut F warehouse. Okay. Yeah, it really doesn't like that. Alright. Let's not do that. Let's see if we can actually find the function that controls that. That would be really fun, wouldn't it? Let's try it. One moment. Sorry about that. Okay, let's reload the game. Let's close some of these. Alright, so I've got IDA, interactive display assembly, something, I think. Anyway, got it open. I already have the Metal Gear Solid 2. That's self-loaded. What I like to do, see if we can find something like FPS. Nope, okay. What about debug? Press OK to trip the debugger. Oh, that's different. You have a reference? Of course not. Sulfur. Let me see what you're doing. I've actually never used this tool before. Couldn't connect. Huh. Cool. I've never used that before. I'll have to play with that a bit more. Huh. But here's the question. Why are there port IDs? Or why is it trying to reference ports if this game doesn't use online? Wait, yes it does. It connects to PSN for save files. This was one of the few games that actually did that. Also, what's up, buddy? And I have no idea what that tool is. I have no clue how it works or what it is or anything of that. Cool. Okay. Now. Yeah, that one. Okay. Let me see. First, let's. Anyway, okay. So there's our address. Let's fill so that we can get our address. And we will set a breakpoint on right. Change our location. Oop. Gotta actually change zone. Once we change our zone, it should break. Perfect. Let's go look at this in IDA. Alright, so here's the function that governs that. Okay. Let's see what it's doing. Well, let's do this actually. It's not directly referencing the TOC, but I could be wrong. Let's jump through it a little bit. That looks crazy. That's probably some data. Okay. Alright. Ah, that's what it is. Cool. That's a pointer data. There we go. So 77323563. Looks like that's being written here. Bit. You. Oops. Yeah, it eventually writes all of that data there. Cool, awesome. Looks like you're jumping that. What are you? Okay. That goes there, which I don't know what you are. What are you? Nothing. Or state. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay. So I think that there's something wrong with how I decrypted this before. Yeah, there definitely is. I'm gonna run. Yeah. What the hell? Weird. Yeah, I am definitely going to redo that. Reanalyze. That'll take a little bit. In the meantime, let's take you over there. Yeah. Okay. Where? If I, what the hell? Weird. Okay. Run that again. That broke. Nothing changed. Is that going to be the return? Is this an address? No. What are you? Nothing. Play. Oh, you are still catching on that, aren't you? Okay. Somewhere in here, data is being written. Looks like you are going to be our likely culprit. It's data being written here. Looks like you're grabbing that data. It's going to be... Let's see here. Let's see what we've got. I can't really look at it in IDA just yet because I'm still figuring out, or it's still figuring out what it wants to do. But what I could do is start trying to break this down myself. So let me see. It's saying that that's the host. That doesn't make sense, does it? So I think that might be a little bit wrong. Okay. I need to find where this is being entered from. Can't do that till IDA's done. Are you done? No, you're not done. Okay. So far as I can see, looks like we have character pointer. Looks like it's just a character pointer. Oh, there's something more. There's more going on here than just a character pointer. Has to be. Yep, I'm stuck until I can get IDA to cooperate. I don't know. Are you feeling more cooperative? Huh. Interesting. Okay. Oh, thank you. I'll be right back. And I'm back. What would one of my streams be without me shoveling an ungodly amount of spaghetti into my face? Okay, so we're looking at this function here, which as far as I could see is a return. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's just a return. Okay, let's see. Let's see what you reference to. Let's... Tell you what, let's try something easier. Let's do God mode. Goodness gracious. That's a lot. Okay. This right here I know is health. How do I know it's health? Because I've played this game so many times. Break. Deep. Break. Yes. Writing 64. Oh, that's right. That's where we hooked to initially. Okay. Let's go here. What does this do? That's not right. Why are you like this? Okay, we'll do this from the beginning. It's having a fit because it's running the script. It doesn't like the script. But I can deal. I mentioned before that this game actually ran off of another pointer set, so I had found that pointer set before. Let's go back to it. This is this should be the actual address that the game calls for its pointer. So let's go check and see if it matches up. 6.4, yep. Excellent. So now what we do is we take all of this, and that goes bye-bye. And then this just gets changed to that. Simple as that. We'll keep this here just because that's going to be our button monitor. And we still need our button monitor or else the game will run like dog poo-poo. And we don't like poo-poo. DD8A40. I think that's actually a different different than what I got. Nope, DD8A40. That's correct. Weird. Reanalyze. Okay. This game is weird. And now you're having a conniption. Oops, not you. Disable. There we go. I wonder what these other... Wait. Ooh, knife. What's knife? Looks like... Could be something though. Who knows? We could be coming across the native table, which I don't know if this game has one or not. Doesn't. Well, there could be. I don't even think this game calls entities the same way most games do. Everything about this game is very strange. Let's build. Drop. And restart. Rinse, wash, repeat. I do hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm having a ball. Not even sarcastically, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Okay, so my pointer works. The only problem is it's still really slow, so I think I'm actually just going to take sleep out of it altogether. We'll try that in the next rendition. And because I know this works. Let's go ahead and clean that up now while we have a chance. I need to figure out how many items there are. Oops. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh, it's a headache. Let's see. What the hell? Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, we should be down here. Good. This, let me see. I remember doing extensive research. I think I'm missing something. Some of my math is wrong somewhere. Let me see. Do I have weapons? Nope. Okay. So that's right. This is nothing. I think I was just being stupid. That should be at least one weapon. Should be books. Yes, good. Okay. Alright, so that's all of that. Now, let's see. Where's the pointer at? Rations, there they are. Rations, which is... B. Funny, this is this 01 right here is actually the none slot. So if you get rid of that, you don't have a none slot, which is hilarious. So, okay, so that's how you know where your pointer starts. Starts right there. Now let's do right. Okay, so that's our item pointer. Let's see how far it goes. Do I still have an item? Yes, I have one wig. Okay, so we know it's at least down to here. That's the end of it. This is the last one. That's the last item. This is nothing. One. That's one. That's two. Actually, that's two. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 41. That's 41. So I was right. Interesting. Good. Okay. Anyway, so, let's do something else that's a little bit interesting. Just so we can test it. In hook 1, if in game, let's make o.stat table, which this should be time, which I believe is going to be a float value. Float pointer equals 0.0. Come on, 0. Yeah, there we go. This should give us 0 for our time, which will be kind of fun. And this will constantly write because as soon as it sees that you're in game, it's just going to constantly write that without even searching for a key. So I made those two additions. We do rinse. Then we do a wash. And repeat. Okay. Obviously we won't see, let's see. We didn't break. It says that everything's good. So, let's find our pointer. Doesn't look like it's changing. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see where that is pointing at. B18. 5B18. Hold the fib. Stat table. Players struck plus 20. Here. Struck. Take that. And we add 20. Oh yeah, that is right. Weird. Cool. Let's see. Boop. Well, I'm stupid. Okay. Awesome. Let's do this then. Let's fix our value. Take this number, subtract it by our pointer. Oh, that's a little bit different. Oh, just a wee bit. There's 138. Oops, just 138. Let's check our items. See if we fix that little snafu. Do that. We will erase everything. No items. Damn it. No, still didn't do what? Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. When did 20? Huh. I know I'm missing some very basic math here. Let's just be arrogant and just do that. Yeah, do that. Alright. 2 fixes. Being said, hang on now. Let me see something. Yep. That's gonna be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10. That's not right either, is it? Okay. Is that good enough? What? Oh, duh. Huh, okay. So you're fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Like I said, my math is probably just terrible on it. Let's give it a shot. Oh, viewer count's off. The stream is telling me that I have 4 viewers right now. I don't know if that's true because sometimes Streamlabs lies. Let's find out. I have no viewers. Okay. Nobody is watching. That's fine.
Now we have all the items. That's better. Cool. Okay, let's see. If anybody here is familiar with modding Metal Gear Solid, I'd very much like to know if you guys have ever figured a way to enable the high frequency blade outside of the Metal Gear Arsenal area. So that would be very nice. Let me see. I'm going to save and see if it records my data as being 0 for the time.
What's up, Jack?
Yep, there it is. 0 for the time. Excellent. Alright. So now we got that one. What else we got? What else? What else? What else? There's a little bit of lag for the button timer. It shouldn't be a problem. Excited. It's like it's finished. It's still being. Probably because Ida doesn't know any better. One of these items. Yeah, 500. Guessed it, that would be. We can do to find where our card is. That's easily done by simply poking memory until we find the card. We just look for a value that changes, because it should be live as we're doing this. There it is. 021. So, that should be the card. Change that to 5. Yep, there it is. How about 7F? That is an insanely high card value. Let's take what we've been learning and apply it. This is our card location. This is our pointer, because the rations are the first item. I know I did that backwards, but leave me alone. Two. Okay. And short card equals O dot item table. Let's do O dot item table plus 22. And we want card to equal at all times. Let's test this out.
This is Snake.
The mission objective. All right, let's look at your gear.
We need to get a fix on it.
So if that worked, we should have... Oh, where's my key card? No, where's my key card? Oh dear, that's not right. That's interesting. Didn't crash. The pointer is different. No? That's a signal. What's going on at... here? Huh. Should be something right there. But there's not. Why? Oops. It would appear this doesn't handle button arguments consistently across the two sections. Okay. But that wouldn't make sense as to why... Nope, yes it would. Okay. Alright then. It's like we learned something. Let's say that again, but we'll load into the plant. This stream's been going on for almost 3 hours now, so as soon as I'm gonna probably run this last test and call it. Do some research in the back end and see if I can't find out how to get functions working for this game, and if that goes well, then I'll probably make another stream. I think the last thing I want to do is see if I can find a way to make the player invisible, because that would be really fun. I think the best way to go about that is probably going to be to find the stat that deals with the alert protocol. So as soon as I get seen, I'll set a breakpoint on that, and I'll get spotted, and we'll trace it back and see what we can figure out. Because there should be a Boolean value that detects if the player gets spotted or not. And then that should tell the function to tick, rather. So we're in game. And I still do not have that. Well, what the shit? Something screwy is going on here. Okay, so I got my pointer. That's working. Let's go here. It's not writing what I'm telling it to write. Maybe I have to... Oh, seems like I crashed. Curious. Why did I crash? So... It's crashing because we're trying to do this. Let's get rid of that. See if that fixes it. Shut up, debugger. I originally wanted to start doing a mod for Kingdom Hearts 2 with the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 literally just around the corner. But I like Metal Gear. I like Metal Gear a lot. I don't even regret it. Not even unabashedly. I think I just fucked myself. Well, we should be fine. Alright, watch guys. I'm actually gonna remember to make a save file at the new location this time. As I keep saying, I need to do that. So I'm actually gonna do it. I'm probably not gonna do it.
Snake, do you remember the sinking of that tanker 2 years ago?
Of course.
You have two mission objectives. The texture isn't far removed from rubber, but the material protects against a wide range of toxic substances. The suit itself has a wide array of built-in sensors. It is referred to as smart skin. The hatch with a certain...
Oh, looks like my graphics card being a little bugged up. Just a moment. Not graphics card, capture card. Duh. Okay. Let's see. Huh. Just. It might. I probably didn't catch it soon enough. Okay. Okay. That. Yeah, hey, look, guys, I forgot again.
The tech...
Okay, well. So far, so good. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why Excuse. Let's try it this way. Really? I'll just do that. Well, it looks like, wait. Looks like my capture card decided to take a shit, and I am right at that 3-hour mark. That's annoying. I have no idea if I'm even in it or not, so let's find out. I know that I'm in the game because it says initialized. Don't know if... Oh? I may have gotten in-game. I don't know. This will be interesting. Because I legitimately can't see anything. Let me see. That'd be kind of cool. Probably further proof that I've been on this too much. Okay. Well, I'm in game. I've definitely loaded the save file that has my previously modded weapons. Yep. Yep. That's funny. That's really funny. Let me see. I should be constantly writing my card. Oh. Right, I changed it. Let's do this. Let's see if one of those sticks. There it is. Not sure how y'all can see it, but this right here is going to be the card. The 0214. So since this is being constantly written here, provided that that it is in game, has reference to our boolean up there, it will constantly write 0214. So even if I try to change it, it won't. I'll get all the items again, just to show you, and zero out everything. You see, once I pass over the card, it still says 0214. Cool. Alright, well, I hope y'all learned something. Y'all didn't really say much in the chat, so I guess you didn't have any questions. But if you do have any questions, go ahead and just leave a comment down below, and I will get to you eventually. Thanks for watching, and happy modding.